All right, Algebra 2, you know the drill. We're going to go through about half of this probably, maybe less than half, I'm not sure yet. And then you'll have the rest of the time to kind of go through what you can, and then we'll talk about that more before we take our benchmark. So I'm going to start with number 2 here. We want to factor and slasher, factor and cancel. So I'm going to factor both top and bottom. So starting with the top, I'm looking for what two factors of negative 24, since it's a trinomial, quadratic. I'm going to look for what two factors of 24 that give me 5. And you might be screaming at the screen right now, but it is 3 and 8. So negative 5 means it's going to be negative 8. So on the top, I've got x plus 3 and x minus 8. And now I'm looking at the bottom, and this one, we have just a GCF. So if I look at those two, both of those divide by 2. So 2's out here, and I have x minus 8 left over once I divide. And so now I'm got it factored. I can cancel anything that matches up on top and bottom. And that's x plus 3 on top, 2 on bottom, and that's my final answer. That is simplified. Okay? So when you're doing multiplication, like on this one, you don't have to do anything beforehand. This one is division. So remember on this one, we keep change flip. So the first one stays 5ab over c. Change it to multiplication, and then flip the second one over. And so this is what we've got here. And now I'm trying to cancel anything I can. So nothing factors here because there's no addition or subtraction. As far as the numbers go, I'm going to go ahead and cancel the 2 with the 10 to make that 5 over 1. And I'm going to go ahead and put all this together so that I can see exactly how many A's, B's, and C's I have. So 5 times 5 is 25 on top. I've got A and A, so A squared on top. I've got 1B here, 3 B's there, so 1 plus 3 is 4. And that's it on top. On bottom, I have A squared. And then I have C times C is C squared. And so anything that cancels now, I'm going to do so. A squared cancels. And my final answer is 25b to the 4th all over c squared. There we go. So kind of the same thing on these next two, but this time we are factoring anything that we can. Now, for some reason, this one always kind of throws us off. So I'm going to try and factor these one at a time. So this one, I have a GCF of 5. So on top, I have 5 coming out. When I divide, I get n plus 3. Then I'm going to do the bottom here. Both of those divide by 4. So 4 comes out, and I have n plus 2 when I divide. Same thing here. Both of those divide by 2, so 2 comes out, n plus 2 when I divide. And then this one, both of those divide by 3, so 3 comes out, and I'm left with n plus 3. For whatever reason, those kind of always make us a little more hesitant, but now that I have it all factored, anything on top and bottom that matches up, I can cancel. So n plus 3, n plus 2, and even here, 4 and 2, these two both divide by 2, and I think that's it. So on top, I have 5 times 1 is 5, all over. 2 times 3 is 6. Final answer. Okay? So, I think that's it for the first page. On to the next one. So, both of those are division problems this time. Okay, so let's look at number 8. And this one, it looks like I'm going to factor a trinomial, but before I do, you got to look for GCF, because this one, all of them have A's. So I'm going to take out A squared. So A squared, and then I have A squared plus A minus 20. So So I'm going to factor that further later, but that's one. This one on the bottom here, I have a difference of squares. So remember, a difference of squares, you take the square root of both, a and 4, and so that's going to be a plus b, a plus 4, a minus 4. And then on this side, I should have changed flip right away, but maybe I'm just going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and change that right now to multiplication. And I'm going to flip these over and factor the flipped version. So this is going to be 4a squared minus 6a over 2a squared plus 7a minus 15. So I'm going to get rid of that and factor the flipped version. So right here, both of those have a, and they both divide by 2. So I'm going to take out a 2a, and when I divide by 2, I get 2a minus 3. And then on the other one, right here, this is a slide divide problem. So I'm going to slide that over to be negative 30. What two factors of negative 30 give me 7? And you would say 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10. There it is, 3 and 10, where 10 is positive. But remember, if this is my factors and I slide the 2, I got to divide the 2. And so that's going to be 2x minus 3 there and x plus 5 there. So that's what I have on the bottom. 2a minus 3 wasn't x, but you get the idea. And a plus 5. There we go. So I've got it mostly factored here. So if you want to kind of cancel what you can now, you could. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel these, cancel those. But I still have to factor this guy right here. So if you look at that, I have a squared. I'm going to find what two factors of negative 20 give me 1, and that'd be 4 and 5. So that's going to be a squared. I keep saying x. A minus 4, a minus or plus 5, all over a plus 4, a minus 4 times 2a over a plus 5, because I already canceled out the other thing. Now, finally, I can go ahead and cancel whatever I can. So a plus 5 cancels, a minus 4 cancels, and I think that's it. So on top I have 2, and then a squared and a make a to the third over a plus 4. Final answer. Whew, that was tough. Okay, but you can see GCF being so important is always important to check first. Okay, so number 10 and 9. These are complex fractions. So remember, this is the same as division. So before I do anything, I'm going to keep, change, flip. I'm not going to factor anything until I get this written down as a keep, change, and then flip, meaning x squared minus 9 is on top, 7x squared minus 26x minus 8 is on bottom. And now we factor each of these separately. So the top one, x minus 4, that doesn't factor at all. What two factors of 9 give me 6? And you would say 3 and 3. So that's x plus 3 and x plus 3, just twice. That's okay to have it twice. Up here, this is a difference of squares. So again, get your square roots, x and 3, but it's x plus 3 and x minus 3. That's difference of squares. This one, I have a 7 in front. So this one, I'm going to have to slide it over. So 7 times negative 8 is negative 56. So what two factors of 56 give us 26 And we have 1 and 56, 2 and 28. There it is. So negative 28 and 2. But remember, it's slide, so you have to divide. So x plus 2 and x minus 28. Divide by 7. And so that's 7x plus 2 there. And x minus just 4 there. So there we go. 7x plus 2, x minus 4. And look at what cancels here. Top and bottom, x minus 4 cancels. X plus 3 cancels. And I think that's it. So I'm left with x minus 3 on top, x plus 3, and 7x plus 2 on bottom. And there's my final answer. Okay. And so now we move on to equations. Okay. So with equations, remember, we're kind of doing the same thing, but what we're doing is we're trying to find the LCD. So the first thing you got to do is factor all the denominators. So that's going to be 2 and 4, both negative. So x minus 2 and x minus 4. And so if I'm looking at my LCD is x minus 2 and x minus 4. And so if there's an equal sign, I'm going to try and cancel that by multiplying this by every single term, seeing what cancels. So x minus 2, x minus 4, x minus 2, x minus 4, and x minus 2, x minus 4. And look what happens. When I multiply everything, it's going to cancel the denominator. Boom, boom. And I'm left with 1 times that. So 1, x minus 2. Same thing on the second one. Plus, x minus 2 cancels. I'm left with 3 and x minus 4. And then on the last one, all of those cancel, and I'm left with just 2. So you distribute, and now solve for x. So that's 4x minus 14 equals 2. And now we solve for x. So 4x equals 16. Divide by 4, and x equals 4. Now what you have to double check is if it makes a 0 in the bottom, and when you plug it in there, 4 minus 4 is 0. You cannot divide by 0, so that's gone. And since I don't have any other answers, that is no solution. No solution. Okay? So, that is page 2. Page 2? That's it? Okay. And so the next one, we have some log stuff. Okay? So this is all the stuff we've been doing. Okay? So I think we'll probably, since we've already kind of done this, yeah, I think we'll probably just stop there and then talk about some more of this. No, let's go through a couple of them. So this one, I'm just going to set that up. So log of the top over log of the base, something we've been doing more recently. This one, you've got to get the same base. So that's going to be 6 to a power. So that's 6 to the negative 1 to the 2x equals 6 to some power, x plus 3. Okay. Now, off the top of my head, I think it's 4. Might be wrong on this. But if it's 4, now we go ahead and distribute both of those. So that's 6 to the negative 2x equals 6 to the 4x plus 12. And now you can drop the bases. So negative 2x equals 4x plus 12. And you solve. So subtract 4x That's negative 6x equals 12. Divide by negative 6, and you get x equals negative 2. Okay. So that one's kind of one of the more tough ones. And then when you get into log equations, you just got to remember to change forms if it's log equals log, or drop the logs if it's log equals a number. Okay. So like this one, you have to condense first, but log base 3 of addition becomes multiplication. So it's really 5 times x plus 4 equals 3. And so now that I have one log, I can change forms. So 3 base stays base. So 3 stays the base, and the other two play switcheroo. So 3 comes over as the power, and then 5x plus 20, because I multiplied them, is on the other side. So that's 27. And now I go ahead and solve the rest. So 27 minus 20 is 7. Divide by 5, and you get x equals 7/5, or 1.4. Okay? And so on the last page, again, condense, but this time it's log equals log. Okay, so if we, let's say, do this one, number 22, this is already log equals log, so I can cancel right away, but look at what we have left. And so this is another situation where you got to get it equal to 0, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I have x squared minus 5x minus 66 equals 0, and now I factor to solve. So what two factors of negative 66 give us 5? And that'd be 1 and 66, 2 and something, 3 and something, and it ends up being 6 and 11, where 11 is negative. So x plus 6, x minus 11. But remember, those are not your answers. Your answers are the opposite. X equals negative 6, and x equals positive 11. But go back, which one makes it negative? And I don't know if either one of these makes it negative. If you plug in both of those, that's going to be positive, and the other is a positive. So actually, you keep both of those answers as your solutions. Okay? So I'll let you kind of work through the rest of them, and then there will be an answer key this weekend if you want to look that over, and then we'll have some time at the beginning of the period to kind of go through some of that, and then we'll be ready for our benchmark and wrap the year up. Okay? So good luck on the rest of that, and I will see you Tuesday.